And when he had spoken these things while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel, which also said, Ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Yahushua which is taken up from you into heaven shall so come in like manner as you have seen him go into heaven. Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Bar Shem Yahushua, Bar Shem Rakah Kadash. Double wonders unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and shalom to the hopeful elect. This is a news and prophecy video. The title will be determined when the video is uploaded by the article. But before I proceed into that, I basically want to go into this Acts 1 verse 9 to 11. Basically dealing with how the Lord, the one the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, whose true name is Yahushua HaMashiach. Alright, how before he left this earth, in what manner he left. Okay, he dealt with his disciples for a set amount period of time after he was risen back up from the dead on the fourth day. And after he did so, he taught them many things. Then he basically departed from them in a chariot. Okay, and as they looked and beheld him going up in the tractor being, in like manner that Elijah went when his mantle fell and rested upon Elisha, basically those two angels stood by them and said, why gaze you standing up? And they basically prophesied. All right, they said this same Yahushua that was taken up is gonna come back in like fashion. So the way that it was taken out is the way it's gonna come back. But you know, a lot of the masses of the people don't know or understand this. Okay, and that's why we have this article. All right, this is from Forbes.com. All right, and the article reads, the Navy just released UFO videos that demand another look. All right, so it reads, if you follow the universe of unidentified flying object sightings at all, you've probably already seen the intriguing footage that was officially released by the US Department of Defense this week. So if you're already aware of this, you would have seen this before because it's a clip that these clips have been released previously. The clips were recorded in 2004 and 2015 by infrared cameras on US Navy aircraft and show what the Pentagon calls unidentified aerial phenomena. Alright, so they ain't calling them UFOs no more. They're calling them unidentified aerial phenomena. Alright. Oblong objects appears to move through the sky in unusual ways. Pilots can be heard on videos marveling at their speed, sudden movements, how they seem to rotate in mid-air and fly into a substantial headwind with ease. Okay, so basically they're defying what Esau calls the laws of physics. Alright, his laws of physics basically. The unclassified videos have already been circulating for a few years after coming to light in 2017. This week, the DoD made them officially available for download in response to an apparent Freedom of Information Act request and a determination that their release did not pose a threat to national security. Naturally, any UFO footage immediately turns into speculation about aliens. But before making that leap, we need to take a closer look at the evidence. First off, is it possible that the objects moving in remarkable ways are actually spacecrafts constructed by extraterrestrial intelligence? Sure, anything's possible, and as phenomena are by definition not explained, all possibilities on the table, which is a good point, in the realms of, a worldly manner. All possibilities should be on the table, but let's proceed. But there's a huge gap between a possibility and a probability. And in the case of aliens, our ability to assess UFO or UAP evidence can be clouded by decades of alien imagery from science fiction and pop culture. This shouldn't be surprising given what we know about the vastness of the universe and how plentiful planets are throughout. Yeah, because the Lord, after he left this earth, he sat on the right hand side of the Most High Power, but oversaw as it was, you know, the he basically prepared a place for us basically in the kingdom. All right, in my father's house is many mansions basically. He established multiple planets, all right, multiple dominions, all right. This shouldn't be surprising given what we know about the vastness of the universe and how plentiful planets are throughout. It's counterintuitive that we have no solid evidence of life beyond our little corner of the galaxy. And this is the point. The problem is the combination of our strange existential conundrum and inundation with alien storylines sets us up to fall victim to our own confirmation bias. Now, okay, let me read on. But another way, we are wired to go looking for aliens. Put in another way, we are wired to go looking for aliens and to convince ourselves we've found them if we don't take a more critical look at the evidence. All right? So this is the thing. You gotta really sit there and question who is the one that pumped the alien imagery to the masses of people. Hollywood. All right? And Hollywood is by definition, to the name, the etymology goes back to holy wood or hollow wood, being the hollow wood of the wand of, the witches, the wizards that they utilize to cast spells on the people. That's why you also have a thing in television known as broadcasting, because it's a broadcast of a spell, programming, all right? The minds of the people, predictive programming. So it's counterintuitive in a sense, counterintuitive on, not counterintuitive. What I mean is you've been programmed to believe the story that has been pumped to you by design by Esau, okay? Because basically, the chariots of the Lord, Israel, was common knowledge prior to the imagery of what Esau's pumped to the minds of the people, at least for the prophets of Israel, okay? Because they said, what Elisha said, oh, my Lord, a chariot of Israel. He says that in the Bible, in the book of Kings, right? Loosely paraphrasing. So it was known that when he saw it, they saw a chariot of Israel. Let's go back in history. The chariot went before us when we came out of Egypt as a cloud by day and by a fire by night. Okay, so we all were under the chariots when we left Egypt. A big chariot. All right. Then even going further back to the time of the beginning, dealing with Enoch, the seventh from Adam, he prophesied of the Lord coming from the beginning, okay? Prior to the flood, the first death, he prophesied of the coming of the Lord. And basically spoke on him coming with the thousands of heaven, being the chariots of the Lord, the angels, all right? So this was a well-known, it actually stands the fact that the chariots of the Lord, or what are known as UFOs or UAPs, were more known and identified as what Esau calls flying saucers, as opposed to, aliens being put in those flying saucers as in much more recent modern history, okay? There's been a much longer time that the angels of the Lord have been known to be in those chariots as opposed to what? Aliens, man. But again, Esau's programmed the minds of the people by design for what? Hey, Ronald Reagan spoke of a Star Wars program. Why did he say that? Because ultimately, as it tells you in Zechariah the 5th chapter, the chariots are enemy unto who? The house of the thief. All right, the thief being Esau. All right, Esau Edom, as he's reinvented himself today, the so-called white man. All right. And it's a curse onto him. But what he's done is he's rallied the masses of the people that an outside enemy has come to basically subject all of them. And that's why you had, again, Ronald Reagan saying, what would we do if we had an outside enemy would all come together to fight against him, or them, should I say. And that's why they set up the Star Wars program. And Donald Trump more recently spoke of that as well. Okay, where they basically want to gather up all the nations, all the world nations together. All the world nations together, and basically fight against the Lord. Okay, in hopes that they have a chance of winning. And that's why he pumped this rhetoric in the masses, to the masses. So let me carry on reading. Imagine for a second that aliens aren't a thing. For whatever reason, we know that they did not visit our planet at any point this century. The question is, with that explanation on the table, can we explain what the Navy pilots saw? Alright, so if it ain't aliens, what is it? The angels of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem El Shai. But with all the complexities of possibilities of where it could be, that's just a drop in a bucket, basically. All right? And it isn't given to them, it's given to who? The servants and prophets. Before answering that, let's first consider that the pilots were actually seeing on their displays Before answering that, let's first consider what the pilots was actually seeing on their displays. Those are infrared cameras, so they were really seeing heat, which should be a factor in how we interpret what we are seeing in the videos. Okay? And what does the Lord say about his angels? He said he makes them ministers of fire. Okay? They were seeing a pure energy, basically. Right? We can't even infer from the images without a doubt that they were a solid object in the footage. And the reason why they're saying that is because they've seen chariots phase through solid objects, right? It's possible that it was some odd heat mass, something outside the realms of what they know, or other atmospheric phenomena, right? Being fourth dimensional beings or objects, right? Because chariots can phase through the fourth to the third dimension. And of course, this is imagery intermediated by a computer system that could have had a bug. Alright? One clip in particular shows an object speeding along in a straight line, not unlike a meteor or a piece of space debris re-entering the atmosphere. So they're saying it's moving in a perfect straight line. The fact that the videos were released by the military suggests this is not some kind of top secret technology from the US or some other nation, but that also has to be considered as a possible explanation. Heck, maybe it was an elaborate hoax involving drones or something. Who knows, right? But with aliens off the table, we're easily able to come up with several plausible explanations. I mean, I guess you can, but it's not the truth. Without having to make a giant leap to a phenomena we've yet to prove exists. But still, I'm not saying it's absolutely not aliens. I'm just saying it's worth another look before we make that leap, right? Which is a good point. But I'm going to show you where it is now, according to the spirit of Yahweh Bashem El Shai. Right? Read the opening scripture. But now I'm gonna, the Lord's gonna come back in the chariot, what Esau calls a UFO or a UAP. But I'm gonna explain why this is happening at this said time. Alright? So it's Zechariah 5:1. Just highlight these. Verse 1, it reads, "Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll." Right, so if a man turned around and looked up to the sky and saw a flying roll, what's that? What did they say? And they said in the article, flying oblong objects. Alright, flying roll, same thing. Alright, what Esau calls a UFO or a UAP. And he said unto me, "What seest thou?" And I answered, "I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof are 10 cubits. Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth, for everyone that stealeth. Okay, so this is the point. Then he said, they are, look, he was asked, what do you see? So I see a flying roll, all right? And then he said, what seest thou? And he went and again, he said, like, the length, he explained it in more depth. Then verse 3, it says, then said he unto me, this is the curse, all right? This is the curse. And I'm going to even get into that curse a little bit more in a moment. He said, this is the curse, all right? That goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. And that's even another point, which it reads, for everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on the side according to it. All right? I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of the house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. All right? So it says, this is the curse. Now, who is a cursed people aside from the nation of Israel, which this scripture is not talking about, because as it tells you in the next verse, says that goeth over the whole world, and Job 9:24 explains to you that, you know, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. If not, where is he? Who is he? All right, and basically talking about Esau, the so-called white man, and this goes into more depth. Isaiah 34:5, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven, behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, the Greek translation of the word Edom or other one, which means red, okay, which is the true name of Esau, okay, the nation of Esau, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. All right, because they're cursed for judgment. All right. So that's the people that cursed. Idumea, the Idumeans, Esau, Edom. Let me compound that point with this. This is Malachi 1. I'll jump to 3. And I hated Esau and laid his mountains and heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Right, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts. They shall build, and I will throw down. They shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever. Right? So if the Lord has indignation against you forever, what does that mean? You're cursed. All right? So now let's get back to the point. Zechariah 5 and verse 3. Then said he unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it. So who stole? Esau, man. Exodus, it tells you, he that stealeth from man and it be found in his hand. There's a judgment for that, all right? I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief that stole Gad's land, Gad and Reuben's land, and then furthermore stole the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, Levi from the west coast of Africa, and put them into hardcore slavery in the land of America. All right, that's how they stole, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name. Yeah, because they say that they do it in the name of Yahweh Bashem El Shai, when that is a total and utter lie. All right, and it shall remain in the midst of the house, and it shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. So that's why these chariots are entering into this world, man, because they're remaining here to show, to prime the minds of the elites that look, it's that time, and that's why Revelations 12:12 is in play. All right, surely, the devil cometh down with great wrath, knowing that he has a short time. Because why? He's seeing a sign of these chariots, all right? They shall enter into the house of the thief, and it's all for the judgment of the Lord, all right? So I'm going to read this in closing. This is Revelations 1:7. Behold, he cometh with clouds, All right. Psalms, the one of, actually, I'll just read it. All right. What are the clouds? This will give you the necessary breakdown. This is Psalms 104:3. Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, and walketh upon the wings of the world. Alright? So who maketh the clouds his chariot? Alright? The Lord. Okay? So that means that the cloud that's being spoke of in the scripture when the Lord's coming back is basically the chariots of Israel. Okay? Which is what Esau Edom calls so-called UFOs or UAPs. So behold, he coming from clouds, and every eye shall see him. Alright? Because hey, Gil Scott Heron got it wrong. The revolution will be televised, alright? Everyone's gonna see it, man. If you don't see it on a TV screen, you're gonna see it live and direct. Hey, 2nd Ezra 13, it tells you that Ezra tried to sort where the chariot began, and he couldn't find the beginning, because that's how great in size and mass the chariot, the fathership that's coming is. Alright? And they also that pierced him, and all the kindred of the earth shall well because of him, even so Amen. Alright? So that's that, man. The Lord's coming back with the chariots. It's a short time. Lord willing, you be edified. Shalom.